Hey guys, I want to go ahead and create this quick training video because at the request of Jerry, she was asking about Walmart. And this goes beyond any particular stock. I think you guys will find this useful. This is for, she was asking about, ATR, because when she asked about Walmart, I said, well, what do you like about it? And it's only because it's not on my watch list. Walmart's not on my watch list. I'm not saying it's not a stock that's worthy of trading or it's not worthy of trading. I'm just saying it's not on my watch list. And I do a lot of due diligence, as many of you know, after the market closes. And I'm watching the stocks that are on my watch list before I make a trade. Now, there'll be times that I'll go ahead and I'll make a quick, what I call a lotto trade, which I put very, very little money into it. If something's coming up with like unusual option activity that hits the radar and it's a stock that I haven't traded before, but the technicals look good and there's a lot of buyers on the option, then that's kind of an exception. But I'd say 90% of the time, I'm going right off of the watch list. And I'm looking at stocks that kind of fit whatever the current environment is. So now Walmart has always been a great stock, just like Costco is and everything else. And that's what I had asked Jerry. I said, what is your catalyst? You want to take a look at the fundamentals of a company. You want to take a look at how is it holding up in any particular environment. And you also want to be able to take a look at what's the catalyst for making the stock go up further? Or is there something that is a headwind that could possibly make the stock fall down further? So in this video, short video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at Walmart real quick and tell you what I like about it. I'll tell you what I don't like about it. And I'll tell you why, I probably wouldn't make the trade. Again, I'm not saying for you not to make the trade. I'm just saying why I wouldn't make the trade. But then I'm also going to go ahead and point out why I'm doing this. A stock that I think is worthy of taking a look at, and I'll tell you why that is. So let me share my screen with you and put this up on the board. So if we take a look at this happens to be Walmart. So let me start with that. So from a technical standpoint, it looks good. Walmart looks like a pretty solid stock. And it's a pretty solid company. I haven't looked at the fundamentals. You need to go back and take a look at it yourself. Again, I haven't done due diligence on their management team. Do they have any things that's going on behind the scenes? Those are things you want to take a look at before you even get to the chart. But I'm just going to go right to the chart. And again, having said that, there are times, again, that you can make just a technical play, but you have to know that going into it. More times than not, I like to combine three things. I like to combine the fundamentals, which includes the leadership, the fundamentals, the numbers. I like to include the environment that all goes into that first package. I like to take a look at the technical charts to see if it's something that meets my criteria. And then I like to take a look at a catalyst. What is going to propel that stock to go higher or to go lower if I happen to be shorting it? So in Walmart's case, I don't know those things. And if I was trading from a technical point of view, I personally wouldn't do it. And here's why. So you guys know that I typically like to take a look at this 4-hour chart. So you can see this 4-hour chart. The cross happened. It came in for the land-in. The cross on the MACD, if you take a look at this down here, it happened right about this time here, which was whatever that date was. That was the 13th. So it happened on this candlestick here. And I might have, if I was looking at this, I may have traded this area here right before the cross on the MACD. I may have. Don't know. This would have been a safer bet though. So this is where the cross happened on the 13th. You got your confirmation here, both the lines on the MACD and the lines on your moving average are moving to the upside. So now this comes to our attention today, and it's already been 1, 2, 3, 4 sessions later, and it's made a nice run. I'm not saying it can't go any higher, but the question comes to mind, what's the next KPP, the next key pivot point? Where's that resistance area? So what do? I'm not going to get that on for Walmart off of this chart, this 4-hour chart. I need to go to a longer term time frame. So since I'm going to go to a longer term time frame anyway, I'm going to go out as far as I can, just because I want to see where the stock's been, what the history has been. So I go out to a 20-year chart, and Lord and behold, the stock is at its all-time high right now. Now, that doesn't mean the stock cannot go higher. I've been in this business for 3 decades now, and I remember when Google came out and it just kept running and running and running, setting new highs. So it doesn't mean anything. But when I take a look at that, it's at its all-time high, I go back to my system of using the 4-hour chart, which has served me very, very well. You always have to have a system, whether you want to choose to use my system or not, that's up to you. You got to have a system though in place. But I take a look at this. If I was going to make the trade, it would have been here or on this day here. Well, we missed it from a technical point of view. And again, I'm not saying it can't go higher. It can possibly go higher, but I don't know what the catalyst is. So without that, I'm not personally making the trade. So, technically for me, I'm staying out of it. The other thing is, in my opinion, there's too many other stocks out there that have a good setup as well, that have a strong looking chart, which this one does, that also gives me the ability where it's not at its all-time high, and so it can go higher, and it has the opportunity to, because there's a catalyst behind it. So I said I was going to bring up one stock. Let me bring up two. I'll start with Zoom, which is what we're using right now. So Zoom got its little butt handed to it because they did not update their software. Shame on them. And the stock has taken a tumble off of its high. So, many of you know, we all been trading this. Most of us have been trading the stock well before, it turned over. But this is why I hold stocks. I get in, I get out. People always ask me, how come you don't hold stocks long term? It's just not who I am. I even a good looking stock, I will get in, I will get out. I will get in, I will get out. That's just me. You have to make a decision on how you're going to trade, how you're going to invest. I just know that the market offers a lot of volatility, and you can't control what the market's going to do. So this being able to get in and get out, and I'm not necessarily saying day trade, but maybe a couple days, maybe even a week, unless I'm aggressively hedged, like I was like with Peloton, that one there, I had the market pretty much finance the entire trade. So I held that I think I held it for 3 weeks, and it's done quite well even since. But look at this. So it made its run up. So this is why I like using my system here. Look at this. We're on the 4-hour chart. Look at this. At this point here, we got a cross on our MACDs. We got a cross on our moving averages. Boom. This thing makes a run from about, what is it, $109 a share up to 164. Pulls back a little bit, makes a run to 175, and that was happening in a very, very short period of time. Now look where it's at right now, though. So it's pulled back because the note came out that they did not update their software. That's why you're noticing, if you use Zoom and you're a host of Zoom, you're going to notice that you're automatically assigned a password. And now they have these waiting rooms as well, because they don't want people hacking their system. So they've updated the software since then. But they should have done that a long time ago. But that doesn't mean Zoom is a failure. It doesn't mean we as traders or investors shouldn't be investing or trading in it, because I think it's going to go even higher. I think that this pullback from 175 down to the 110 area, I think it's a gift for us. So I know that Stuart and some of the others, as well as myself, have been trading Zoom. I've been getting in and getting out, getting in and getting out. You could hold it long term. It's just not my style. You got to do what's best for you. So look at this. Here's the cross, a clear cross. The MACD's crossed before, which typically is true. And then we get our cross right here on, what was that, April the 12th. And that was at about $122 a share. And now it's trading at 141 and change, almost 142. That's a nice run in a very, very short period of time. So that's based off of a technical system. So that's one thing. So I like it from a fundamental point of view. I like it from, I'm already aware of their mishap about not updating their software. And I like the technicals, as we just pointed out here. I like the fact that it has more room to run, because it's already been to 175, the high 175. And where a stock has been, the market has a memory, as we all know. Where it's been before. I'm not saying that's where it automatically goes, but it's easier because the stock's been there before. So this has room to run. So the other catalyst behind this thing that I'm aware of, again, I'm not saying there's no catalyst for Walmart, but I'm not aware of the catalyst of what's going to drive it higher. I am aware what's going to drive Zoom higher is that we're all doing these virtual meetings. We're all working from home right now. And we were doing this even before. I was using Zoom even before this whole coronavirus came out, because I just value my time. I put a high premium on my time. When I'm not in front of my computer, I'm not trading. And even then, what, you know, if you're going to want me to get in a car and drive even 20 minutes, well, can we do a Zoom call? That's what I would do. I said, let's do a Zoom call and knock this out on a Zoom call, because then I'm in the comfort of my own home or my office, and I'm able to go ahead and get right back to work or spend time with my kids, which, as many of you know, is very, very important to me. So I enjoyed using Zoom even before this whole, you know, lockdown thing has happened. But this coronavirus, this lockdown, is only going to accelerate what was already happening with companies like Zoom. And I think Zoom still remains to be the leader. They'll get over their, you know, and I think this is already showing that they're already getting over, the market has a short-term memory. They're getting over the fact that they goofed up and did not update their software. Now they have, and I think this thing has brighter days ahead of it. I really do. So, and then again, how you trade it is going to be up to you on how you navigate that. But I understand the fundamentals of it. I understand the leadership team. I understand, you know, the technical charts here, and I understand the catalyst that's ahead, and it fits into this environment. So these are things that I like taking a look at. Now, as it relates to the ATR, the average trade range, that goes back to how long you're going to be in a stock or how long you're going to be in a trade. How long does it take it to move? So, you know, even going back here and taking a look and saying this was on, this ran from 109 to, let's just even take this, let's just take even this point here where it popped up to this area of 135. It did that. So it did that in how many days? So this was on March the 18th. This was on March the 20th. So in 2 days, it went from 108, let's just, simple math, let's just say 110 to 130, a 20-point movement. So to figure out the ATR, you go back based on your own trading style and how long you plan on holding the stock. When you're taking a look at, well, how fast can it move? What's the average? That's what ATR stands for. It's the average trading range. How far does this thing have a history of moving in a given time? That's what you need to take a look at. So, you know, my guess is it might consolidate here at this area here at 142 before it takes off and moves up to this next area of probably 160, 155, 160. So we need to see what happens over these next couple of days. But anyway, there's the one of the things that comes to mind on Zoom. Let me take a look at another company that I think I want to put out on a watch list anyway, that I think fits into this environment. And that is going to be, let me close some of these windows here. That is going to be playing into coming up with a many of you know I'm into INO. I don't even know how that's been doing, because I put, you know, a little bit of money into that. I'm looking for, you know, this thing has been kind of baselining here. Hasn't done really much for me right now, but I didn't put a lot. That was a lotto trade for me. So, you know, I'm doing this because they were one of the few small cap companies to be invited to talk about coming up with a vaccine for the coronavirus. But one of the other bigger companies has done quite well, which I'm not in yet, is GILD. So you take a look at this. Now look at the chart. So we're seeing, even before I zoom in on this thing, you can see an upward trend on the chart. And this is over a short period of time, going from, what was this, February the 2nd to where we are today, a nice upward movement. I like that. I like that upward movement. Now take a look at what's going on, the action here. Again, using the system I have designed that I know has worked well for me. We have a move over our MACDs, which is a positive. We have our move over our moving averages. I don't think we're too late for the party, because we just got our cross here. We got confirmation. I could have made this trade a couple of days ago. What was this? The 14th. I could have made it on the 14th. What's today? Isn't today the 14th? Maybe it is. I think today is the 14th. Let's see here. So, you know, so we just got this confirmation today, really. So this is the 14th. We just got this confirmation today. Could have made the trade today. But look at this. Got a nice little movement here, nice little pattern here, moving over to the upside. And again, speaking of ATR, average trading range, you know, the next level resistance, you know, is probably about this area here of about $80 a share. Look at that, about $80 a share. And we're trading right now at about 77. And And that's on a short-term type of a move, on a short-term type move. So if you want to get into this trade and say, okay, I realize that the next area of resistance is 80, well, that's still a 3-point movement. As many of you know, that could mean a lot on an option play, a 3-point movement. So that's pretty good, but that's not a short-term trade. If you want to look at what the potential is longer term, and even though I like trading, getting in and getting out over the next, over like 2 days to maybe a couple of weeks at the most, in many cases, I still want to take a look at what the long-term potential is. Now, what's the catalyst before I even take a look at that? The catalyst is what, again, coming up with the vaccine for this coronavirus. And they're one of the key players here. Let's take a look at, let's all go out to a 20-year chart. Look at this now. Look at this on a 20-year chart. You talk about these fresh crossovers. Look at this right here. Boom. A fresh cross on a long-term chart. And a fresh, this thing is just going a fresh cross to the upside on the MACDs. So what does that tell me? Short term, it has already set up technically. Longer term, it's already set up technically. And when I take a look at this and I pull this back out, look at this nice little movement. We've been consolidating here for some time. It hasn't done much of anything. It's curved around. And now the catalyst, this coronavirus coming up with the vaccine, highlights this company. And look at the potential. I'm not going to say we're going to go right up to 123 or 120, 123, but it tells me, man, there's some potential with this stock. This, if we take a look at just this area here, so we take a look at the tip of this, what does that give us? That puts us at, let me delete that because I didn't like how that, let me edit, remove drawing. This is what I want to do right here, because this kind of lines up with these lines right here, the top of this, or I could even make it even a little bit lower. I could make it right here. Look at that. Get this, come on. There we go. So look at that. What is that? That's $85 a share. You know, that's the first level of resistance. And if it breaks beyond that, boom, this thing can go much, much higher. But I like it longer term. I like it shorter term. So this is what I'm talking about when I see, from a technical point of view, well, why would I want to get into this trade? Fundamentally, solid. Leadership, solid. Technical, both short and long term, solid. Meets my requirements on my system. What's the catalyst? The coronavirus, coming up with the vaccine for it. So all these things come into play. Now it's a matter of architecting and designing the right option trade based on what your personality is, if you want to do this type of a trade. So these are things that, these are things that I like. I'm going to show you one more. And I only meant to show you one. Now we've shown you, we've covered Walmart, we've covered Zoom, we've covered Gillette. I want to show you one more here. Let's take a look at DGX. And maybe somebody can do some research on this as well, because I haven't done a research from a fundamental point of view, but I'm familiar with the company. It does a lot. It's a big, big player. Quest Diagnostics, a big, big player in doing blood tests and all types of other types of tests that goes on. So Quest Diagnostics, look at the opportunity here on the short-term chart. So this is, again, the 4-hour chart. Here we take a look at this. We came down, we got liftoff and confirmation today that we're not going any lower, because here we have the cross here. So it looks pretty solid. It looks like it's pretty solid here. We're trading at $90 a share and some change. And the fact is, from a technical point of view, many of you might recognize this as a W formation, which is a very, very strong bullish formation. So I like it. So you got a W here. You got the leg down is longer than the initial leg, which is shaking out the skeptics or the people that are fearful. And now we got the push going upward. So we missed a little bit of that movement, but I think Quest Diagnostics has a lot to offer as well. And look where it's been for, just in the short term. So we're at $90 a share. This thing in the short term has been up to 123. You know, I'm willing to take a chance on this type of a trade. And I like the fact that it was coming back down. We were coming back down, pulled back down, pulled back down. It didn't cross to the downside. and it, boom, we got that move back up. It hit the bottom and got back and moved back up. So that tells me we may just be baselining and starting again. Where could you put your stop? You could put it right here if you want to. You could put it at $85 a share. Again, it's going to depend on how you architect and design this trade and what your investment style is. I haven't looked at it long term, but let me take a look at it long term. Let's go out to 20 years. It's a good looking chart. Overall, nice strong uptrend and a nice movement here. A nice movement here. So you see the bottom there, it's bouncing off and starting to move up. A lot of opportunity. So those are some trades that I just think make sense when you're taking a look at this market. Hopefully that answers some of the questions. Again, you got to go back and take a look at like ATRs. I didn't really cover that here, but it's really just taking a look at what the breathing pattern is of a particular stock over a specific time. So there you have it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this, and hopefully that helps you to become a little bit of a better trader, gives you more confidence, and gives you a better guideline of, what to do and when to do it. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Take care. Peace out. Be safe.